All right, everybody, it's the Arty 84 Show live here in quarantine. Episode 138 is Wednesday night, July 1st. We have always below me Adam DeMallet sitting there with his pink shirt on.
Oh.
And to the left or to the right of me, of course, Ryan Glover up there hanging out. And special guest, long time no see, Eric Danger Powers is in the house. And he is right...
Literally to your left.
Literally to my left. He's actually in the house. And let's see, we're trying to get the...
Everybody's in the house, man. We're...
Now, if there's new... So we're live on Facebook, of course, if you're watching on Facebook. And we're trying to figure out how one sees comments and whatnot. Let me see if I make sure we're online on the old telephone. Because we don't want to be broadcasting to people and not having any sounds. Which has happened before. All right, let's see. Oh, there we go. All right, we have sound, so we're live. Everything's good. Everything's dandy. And let's see. Upgrade. We're running out of time. We're already running out of time. How is this? Oh, because we started late.
Oh, wait.
And I can't find my mouse cursor. This has been quite the show so far. All right, there's my mouse cursor.
If 2020 was a radio show, right here.
This is unbelievable. All right. All right, so we'll start the show right here real quick. We got Adam, hold on. Don't put messages because it goes up in the middle of the stream and you can't see anyone's faces.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't see him. Sorry.
Yeah, so
I see him on the limit.
All right, so if you're watching the show right now, we just started episode 138. We will be going to a break, and it looks like about 9 minutes. So, because we started a little bit later as usual, some technical difficulties with sound in the studio, which we will work out. These, I tried to jerry-rig a bunch of wires together to make the headphones work, and it did not work very well. So, but other than that, how are you guys doing this week?
Great. It is a special day, Arty. It is June 1st is also a very big day in sports history, as one of the most worst baseball contracts rears its ugly head. So I'm talking about it's Bobby Bonilla Day.
Is it really July? It's July 1st, not June 1st, just so you get your dates right.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry, July 1st. Yes.
And is this the
Bobby
date?
Bonilla Day.
Is this really the date? Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
they
in 2000, the Mets agreed to buy out the remaining $5.9 million on his contract. But instead of paying the money up front, they agreed to pay $1.2 million a year for 25 years, starting in 2011 with a negotiated 8% interest. The Mets are fucking idiots.
So when's this contract inevitably done?
2035.
2034. He has 15, and he's making how much a year? $1 million?
$1,119,248.20.
$1.2 million roughly.
To do absolutely nothing for the next 15 years.
The Mets, everybody.
He's making what some
people...
you
guys suck.
Like what some people make in like 10 years, he's making in a year to do absolutely nothing. Which is absolutely fascinating. I thought there was a typo.
Because I read like the Mets were riding high on like a Bernie Madoff investment. And they were going to get double digits, and they were like high and drunk on money. So they basically just said, okay, whatever, we'll start the payments 2011, and then they negotiated 8% interest.
When did
crazy.
When did he stop playing?
2001.
So you stopped playing in 2001, and so you took 10 years. You didn't get paid for 10 years? And then in 2011, they started paying him?
It kicked in 2011, yeah.
So what did he do for 10 years?
It's not like he was broke. He had other big contracts. I'm sure he's smart with his money. If he wasn't, we would have heard about it by now.
What do you like? Can we think we can get him on the show?
Yeah,
like he's gonna be doing nothing right now, right? I mean, he's just probably like hanging out, and I mean, $1 million to live in New York isn't exactly like luxury, but if he's living like in Kentucky, he's living like a friggin' king.
I think he's still coaching and managing. I think.
Yeah.
I think he manages
$1.2 million a year for doing nothing.
Let's see what he's doing.
I would take that in a heartbeat. That sounds phenomenal. I mean,
I would.
What was that?
That's like complete financial security, for your family and stuff. I think a smart move on his part.
Oh hell yeah! I mean, it's a greatest deal. I mean, that's almost it's like what we talked about last week. The goalie from the Islanders who had like the 20-year deal too. Like they just keep on paying.
Yeah.
And little did the Mets know that like
contracts.
Bernie Madoff was going to absolutely sink the team and almost bankrupt them. And could they just pay him out? Could they just do a lump sum payment?
I'm sure.
It's
sure
like this is embarrassing. Can't we just? We know what we're going to owe you at the end of 2035. Can't we just give it to you now?
That's what he's probably hoping for. That's what he's probably hoping for. Is that they'll just be like, you know what? How about we give you $20 million? We'll call it a day.
Is he taking a hit on the salary?
The Mets are secretly hoping he dies. Maybe they're like, let's not, because what if he dies? Then we don't have to pay him.
Is he taking a hit on the salary cap every year? Is it $1 million on the salary?
I don't know. I don't know what it's against, but it's on the payroll.
Because it has to be, right? Because the Red Sox are playing for players on their salary cap that don't play on the team anymore. So in theory, but so does that mean at any point in time they could call Bobby Bonilla up to go play because he is technically on the contract?
I mean, I guess if he came out of retirement, he could play.
So if like the Mets need a player, they could be like, dude, we're still paying you, so we need you to report to like spring training ASAP. Because especially if like these players not playing now, like if people are gonna bail out, right? Like it would be perfect. You'd be like, oh yeah, we need we need players, so let's call him up.
Up there.
I don't know what position did he play. I can't remember.
Outfielder, I think.
Outfielder.
I'm pretty sure.
Right.
Who is this fucking agent? Because that sounds like that's like a what a.
Like that's a once in a lifetime thing. Yeah.
There's some risk involved because you're like, all right, because the Mets may not exist in 10 years. I mean, that's something you can think about, right? If they don't exist, you don't get paid. But so when he was signing the contract in 2001, they just came off a World Series, so it looked pretty promising for him. They're like, all right, we made it to the World Series. We're one of the biggest franchises in baseball. Why the hell not? I would take that deal any day, 10 times over, I think. Just imagine.
It's never going to happen again.
I guess his agent was actually, his name is Dennis Gilbert. He was an insurance agent before he became a super agent.
Oh, God. So he wasn't even a sports agent. He was negotiating insurance deals his entire life.
Probably so. It had to be a typo in there, and he caught it. He's the only one that caught it, and everybody signed it.
So imagine if like he wasn't married, or maybe he was divorced, or whatever like that. I mean, he's making $1 million a year. What percentage of it do you isolate to prostitution? Like, do you go like, all right, I'm making $1 million a year. Do I put like $100,000 into like hookers? Like, because like you can afford it. You can live in a nice apartment in Manhattan too. You know what I mean? You could, Is that a pickup line? So you go to the bar, you're like, I'm a millionaire. They're like, what do you do? I'm like, I played professional baseball. Oh, 10 years ago. I'm making $1 million a year to play.
Yeah, 10 years ago.
I'm being paid not to play, basically.
Yeah, it's like Ruben, just your boy down in the mine is Adam. The Cuban that they're paying.
Rusney Castillo.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rusney Castillo.
$20 million a year
He's
not
like
to
12
play.
years.
It's unbelievable. He's getting paid.
I guess also, like, he lives in Florida, so he doesn't have to pay taxes. He would have had.
Now that's smart right there. You go to a state with no state income tax, or have a low cost of living. You go and you buy yourself a nice.
Wait.
What? What are you saying, Adam?
So, no, I was going to say minor league baseball has been canceled this year, so that means Rusney Castillo is going to get his paycheck regardless, right?
He does, and obviously they just said today that Pawtucket is done. They're officially done. They're going to Worcester next year, so we'll never get a chance to go back down to the old Pawtucket to say goodbye to the Paw Sox. Next year will be the Woe Sox, or the Woo Sox.
Did you see what they're doing at the Oakland Coliseum? They're
burning
for
it down.
$85. You could get like a stand yourself in the stands.
And if you get hit with a foul ball, they'll mail you the ball.
Did they really?
That's what I saw. I didn't read the headline said that. I didn't open it up because it's one of those memes pages.
Here's the thing.
That was fake.
The Oakland A's are used to playing with no one in the crowds anyway, so it's not going to be much of a difference to them. That shithole of a stadium.
They're getting a new one this year?
How much would?
No, they're not getting a new stadium.
How much would you pay just to have all of you behind home plate?
I don't know, maybe like
standees of all you.
Bobby Bonilla's married.
I'll talk. I'm the guy who bought grass from the Buffalo Bills stadium, so that's actually a possibility.
And where'd you get those?
The grass? Oh, and then I used my stimulus check to buy seats from the Boston Garden, because that's how I responsibly spent my money during a pandemic. So
Parademic?
Parademic
was it?
Is that when
Parademic?
Is that when the chute doesn't open?
How do you preserve the grass?
It's fake grass. It's artificial turf. And the turf was only in there for like 10 years, and they cut it out. So but I justified it, and I said, well, Tom Brady stepped on that grass at least once a year, so I could, at least the Patriots were like, it's kind of related to me. It's not like it was some random team, but I do like to troll. I'm a member of many Buffalo Bills groups on Facebook, and I do troll them quite often. And one thing I do troll them about is the fact that I have grass from this stadium, and I'm a Patriots fan. That really puts their panties in a bunch.
Puts a salt in the wound.
All right, so it looks like we're about to get booted from this Zoom. This is absolutely terrific because we just started. So if you're watching on Facebook, we will be back after these messages from our sponsors, and we are going to jump on to the new Zoom. You guys have the link to the new Zoom, right? We're going to ride that hopefully through the rest of the show. So, guys, we'll see you guys in about a few minutes. Facebook, and meanwhile on Facebook, Eric's going to entertain you for the next minute and a half. So.
Eric's take on Cam Newton.
There you go. We'll see you guys in 2 seconds. Bye.
Eric's going to eat more peanuts.
There we go.
There you go. Fucking A.
I hope nobody records this meeting.
All right, so now we get audio. This is absolutely ridiculous. What a half-ass show we got going on here. You know, if maybe I should.
It's gold all the time.
You know, we can't be perfect. All right, so we're good on Facebook. We're still hopefully recording on. Yes, we are. We're recording 12 minutes into the show, and we're already getting interruptions. This is phenomenal. But if you guys are just joining us on Facebook, we have Adam Mallet, Ryan Glover, Eric Danger Powers to the left of me, and we're Zooming here on a Wednesday night, July 1st, 2020. We're in the middle of Coronavirus Central. Real quick, I know we bashed Massachusetts a couple weeks ago, and I was a little butthurt that things weren't opening up to my speed. But now looking at statistics and looking at everything, it looks like it actually is working, and everything in the Northeast actually worked. New York City, one of the biggest cities in the world, with some of the most cases in the world, is actually showing improvements. Massachusetts had 0 deaths for the first time yesterday, and numbers are improving. And we're looking good in the Northeast. I'm thinking about joining and helping building a wall around the New Jersey border and keeping everyone out. How do you like it? That sound?
Do it. Let's do it.
Because Florida, Tennessee, Texas, Southern California, Utah, states that took a lackluster approach to it, are now suffering significantly. And Florida's shutting down again. Texas shutting down again. So people
are protesting for bars around.
Well,
if bars lives matter now.
I understand why bars are butthurt, but that's not the bars' fault. That's the governor's fault for opening too early. Because Massachusetts, we're ready to go. Bars are open. Everyone's wearing masks. The people down south aren't wearing masks. Wear a fucking mask and make it mandatory. And if you don't wear a mask, you can't come into a place. Simple as that. Until all this shit blows over, right? What do you guys think?
Yeah, I agree. It sucks, but you know what? Just do it. Just do it. Even if it makes people feel better, just do it. You know what I mean? Whether that's what the reason is or not, it seems something is working. So just do it.
I agree. You know? Ryan, what do you think?
Man, I think we're still got to be cautious and stuff and everything. Obviously, it makes sense to wear a mask and stuff. Obviously, the state of Massachusetts is doing something right. So I'm happy to live here. And not in Florida.
Eric Danger Powers, who works at a bar full time. Have you? How are you adjusting to not having people at a bar?
Yeah, it's actually pretty fun. We're fucking around in there and yelling.
This is where he gets fired. Someone's watching. He's gonna be like, "We're fucking around. We're banging broads in the back, doing coke off of kegerator."
No, that was 5 years ago. No, just.
I never thought you'd go back there.
Huh? What?
I'm not going to say the name of the place. No. I just never thought you would go back there.
Talks.
Didn't you get let go?
It's like an abusive relationship. You know what I mean? It's like a girl that just abuses him and he just can't get enough.
I'm not the only one who does it. There's other people that have been fired many times that go back.
Hey, I guess it's income.
Hey, money talks, right? Show me the money.
So I know you hate the douchebag like young millennials that come in with all the money and like want to fist pump and order ridiculous drinks. So them not actually able to come to the bar and have to sit at a table is actually probably nice for you, right? You don't get the ambush of like a pina colada at like 11:30 or 1:30 at night.
They're still there and they still suck.
Yeah, but they're not as bad. They're not in your face, right?
Well, they can't be because they need to be 6 feet off.
That's right.
But no, they're not. They're still coming out and being fucking frat boys.
Oh, listen.
That's what's stopping them.
But they got to wear masks to get in there, right? But they don't get to wear masks.
Yeah, that's what's fuck that. Yeah, you got to wear. Basically, you have a mask on you. That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, but you have to wear it to walk in, and you can take it off because when you're sitting down at a table, the coronavirus can't get you.
Coronavirus. I mean, Adam and I walked to Dunkin' Donuts today. We threw the mask on, walked in Dunkin' Donuts, got a coffee, walked out, took the mask off.
I don't wear it when I'm outside. It's ridiculous. But if I go into an establishment, I'll put it on. As long as and then
I mean, exactly. You just do that. Just do that. All you had to do was do what we're doing for the next, month or two into the fall. And it's all you had to do for this entire time. And then comes October, everything probably would be relatively calm, right? I mean, who knows? I don't know. I'm not a doctor.
Hope so.
But the people down in Florida and Texas were like, fuck it. We don't want too good for the coronavirus. We're going to go crazy. All I can think is Hank Hill sitting there on his curb.
Arthur, that is offensive.
To what, make fun of Southerners?
The way you did that is offensive. Apologize right now.
I'm sorry for all the Southerners out there if I offended you with my Hank Hill impersonation.
That was all. Yes, that's why. That was the weak impression. That was not the accent. Make fun of him all you want.
Do you think Hank Hill's propane and propane accessories store now would make you wear a mask to go in there to get some propane?
Remember I used to do on the Trish radio show that I was on overnight. Remember I did the old Southern guy who was streaming?
Yeah, that's offensive.
Yeah, I'm probably. If I ever got famous, someone would dig that up.
I'm very offended by.
I know exactly where to get it too. Yeah, it was Cletus who was married to his cousin Debbie, I think.
So if people being not able,
depressing.
What do you say? It sounds depressing.
No, it's a little depressing though. It's kind of like when we were walking earlier, and you were saying how this is like the summer that everyone. It's gonna kind of have an asterisk.
Yeah.
It's gonna be the summer that everybody forgot. And we're walking, and we're in the marina, and there's all the boats, but nobody in them.
Yeah.
We're in an area where normally people would be walking and jogging. There's nobody. It's nice out, and there's just nobody out there enjoying it. It's kind of depressing.
Faneuil Hall, 2:00 in the afternoon is probably the most secluded place in the world.
Ghost town. If you guys,
and July 1st, it should not be that way. It should be asses to dicks to elbows to people.
Asses to dicks.
I'll tell you a story about Faneuil Hall in the summertime. Me and Danger Powers over here.
There's a lot of fucking people.
Once we were sitting. So our place, our go-to place used to be the Salty Dog because it had the outdoor bar. It still has the outdoor bar you can sit at and everything like that. And it's like one of the only outdoor kind of places in the area. So me and him used to go over there. One Sunday, that is, on a summer day, we were sitting at the bar, and these two broads who were in town for a conference from Colorado was sitting there next to us, and we were talking them up, drinking them up, and probably would have been able to go to their hotel room if they didn't fall on their face drunk.
That stopped Eric?
I had to go to work.
We both had to go to work.
I had to go to work.
Oh,
But yes, I mean,
I felt when they asked me which way to go to the North End when I was right in front of my work, I actually could just feel how fun of a night it would have been if I just didn't go to work, and I knew it. I knew everything would happen that was going on in my head if I went with them. But
they were your stereotypical young 20s.
I was responsible adults. I mean, I got the "do you really have to go to work?" with the hand down on the chest thing, both of them.
So the line of the whole situation was Eric was telling him he was going to take him for a boat ride the next day. So Eric doesn't own a boat. But what he was going to do was take him on the Hingham Ferry from Boston to Hingham and take him to Wahlburgers on the ferry.
I never said it was my boat.
Because they were talking about wearing their bathing suit and getting all comfortable on the boat. And I'm like, these girls know what kind of boat they're going on to. It's not going to be exactly like a yacht.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Those dirty.
I gotta put that. Oh, that's going in.
Stereotypical young 20s dirty girls working for some company who sent them to Boston.
Oh, I got my own bar on there, bartender and all.
They were just down for fun. Like, I mean, they were just like, we're going to probably get pregnant by some guy from Boston and be on some South Boston sitcom. So,
Probably already did. You guys warmed him up for somebody else.
We probably did. We probably lubed them up. Some lucky
guy
out there has now a 7-year-old kid. So, Eric,
fucking 7 years, shit.
Eric made a point and said that the guy who does the voice of Cleveland is no longer doing Cleveland. Do you guys hear this?
Uh-oh.
Yeah, he quit. Mark Henry, he quit. He created the character, and he's like, he's saying he's doing the whole, people should do their own race thing, like what's his name did.
I don't know. Do you guys find that offensive if like a black guy does a white guy's voice or a white guy does a black guy's voice? I'm like, does that offensive to anyone? I mean, I don't know. How do you feel about it?
I don't find it offensive, man, because I think it's like fictional characters. But I mean, if he really felt that bad about it, he could give the money back.
Yes,
give it to me because I can keep it.
Yeah, I love that.
Writer, you shouldn't have done it to begin with. If you want to feel that way, that's fine. But you did it to begin with.
That's like,
you know what I mean?
That's like others being like, "Oh, I felt so uncomfortable doing this during the shoot." Well, you signed the dotted line and spent that money.
Right, Ryan, you could be the next Cleveland. I mean, you could just do the voice and be like, "It's Ryan Glover's Cleveland."
No, what I was saying, trying to make a joke is like, when are they gonna start getting on the people who talk like they're from the hood and the ghetto, the white kids, Eminem and stuff like that.
Eminem won't have a job anymore.
They'll be like, you can't do that anymore. That's offensive. That's where it looks like we're going. That's just what, you know what I mean. It
is. I mean, it's you can't.
When we can't laugh anymore. It's what do we have? What do we have? Right.
It started like a year ago when you couldn't laugh at comedy clubs anymore. When people were getting offended in comedy clubs, and like when you walk into it, when you buy a ticket to a comedy club, you're almost purchasing. You're signing a waiver, basically saying that you're in a comedy club, and if you don't find it funny,
I got that.
Sorry.
When I think it was my first year, I had a table get offended. I mean, the joke was horribly offensive, but I mean, they got really offended. They were screaming at me as they walked out.
I mean, you don't get a.
It's kind of great because the other half of the room was dying laughing, so it was good.
And you don't get a laugh, right? I mean, you go to. It's perspective. I mean, you've all been to comedy clubs before, and some comics are funny, some are not, and if they,
some of your taste, some of your, some of your brand.
Yeah, you're not going to see him again if you walk out. I mean, if you like him, maybe you see him again. I don't know. And half the time you're so lubed up, you don't even remember who the comic was, and you're just like, oh, that guy was funny. You know, you're like, well, I've fallen asleep in comedy clubs because I've been so hammered that like I've dozed off and like
he's fallen asleep at NASCAR too.
That's true.
So kid can sleep anywhere.
I've fallen asleep making love to a Playboy spreadsheet model.
Can't sleep in NASCAR.
Yeah, it's just going to get worse. It's all the slippery slope.
And the memory should be coming up soon.
Yeah.
Because I got the video.
What I worry about is, and I'm predicting this right now, it's going to happen someday, but eventually you realize with everything that's going, they're eventually going to start pulling stuff out of museums. That's going to be the next thing. I was thinking
burn
that
the museum down.
Like,
that's what they're going to do. They just want to see destruction.
In reality, is that really offended anyone? Because it was the last time you went to a museum.
Exactly, but someone's going to bitch. Someone always does, and then petitions get signed, and then it gets removed.
I'm waiting for dinosaurs to be offensive. You know what I mean? Like
dinosaurs.
I'm waiting for like a Tyrannosaurus to come back from time and be like, I'm very offended by the way I was portrayed in Jurassic Park. I'm actually a nice person.
Didn't Haley's comic kill the dinosaurs? So everybody named Haley now has to change their name.
That's right. I mean,
that's offensive.
I think the raptors were misrepresented in that movie. Maybe they're nice people. Maybe they're like ducks. You know what I mean? We don't know.
They were because they weren't technically accurate because real velociraptors had feathers.
Oh, there you go.
So it's offensive.
Fuck Jurassic Park and all their dinosaurs. Fuck.
The Rasta is secretly slang for Native American.
You know they're coming for Mount Rushmore now. They want to get rid of that.
Yeah.
Oh God.
They're gonna get a big laser and laser it off like in Austin Powers.
I've seen there's this meme out there with that on. It says our great treasure or something like that, and then below it says, "But this was the native land's great treasure," and they put some like story of what that rock was before they blew it up.
I can tell you,
how do you fucking know that? Why is it just in 2020 we're just learning that some of this stuff exists?
I've been to Mount Rushmore. Yeah. And I thought it was hilarious because it's literally like probably 45 minutes off the highway, and you got to drive a little bit, and you got to go to this park, and you sit there and you pull into a parking lot that you have to pay $20-something to park, and then you got to go into this place, and then when you get there, you're staring, you're on a platform probably like a half a mile away from the rock formation that's in the sky, and you just sit there and you stare, and I go, all right, now what? What do I do now? I go and I bought a shot glass, I took a picture, I took a little selfie, and that was about it. I mean, listen. It was impressive for their time, right? So, like in the 1900s, they're carving faces in a mountain. You're saying, "Well, that's pretty impressive. That's technology." Now they could probably do it with a laser in probably a weekend, and it's not as impressive. I mean, look at the old man in the mountain in New Hampshire. That was natural, and that fell off.
And it said, "Peace, I'm out of here before they come for me."
Yeah,
he saw the future.
They still got to maintain.
He saw the future.
I mean, erosion and crap gets into it, and crap.
Why has he got to be old?
So let me ask you this:
how do you know he's a rock? How do you maybe he's a tree?
All these towns getting rid of their statues and shit, right? If you had an opportunity to buy one for your backyard, would you?
Oh yes, and piss
people
off, just to piss people off. Like,
I mean, because like, what are you gonna do with
what's the shit I say I don't believe, and it's just I love when it pisses someone off.
Alex Wallace is in the house, by the way. Give a shout out to Alex Wallace.
Statues though, not politically related or anything like that, but like I saw Chuck E. Cheese is going out of business, right?
It's because Chuck E. Cheese sucks.
I know, but I want one of their animatronics.
Oh, you want one of
the creepy animatronics?
Yeah.
Playing a guitar one?
Put a friggin' strap on to the head of the animatronic and walk around your house and be like, look at this asshole.
For Halloween, it would be great. Just put it in the window and have a creepy stare at people.
Sit there and greet you every morning. Hello, Adam. Let's do the same song. And I'll play the guitar.
That'd be terrifying.
Man, that's gonna be the eyes on those things, man. Give me nightmares.
When I was a kid, my sister had... The only time I've ever been in I was in Chuck E. Cheese once my entire life, and my sister had her My sister turned 6 years old, and she wanted her birthday at Chuck E. Cheese, so we did. And at the time, it was like one Chuck E. Cheese. It was in Danvers. You guys probably all been to the same one back in the day. And I remember 50% of the people at the birthday party were horrified when the animatronics just popped up and they started like robotically moving around and singing songs.
Time, Terminator.
Yep, that's scary shit. Yeah.
And do you remember the big thing that went on about how dirty the balls were? Like kids were shitting and peeing in the balls.
Yeah, years later I did.
Why are we just
After
like
the
realizing, like, be like, man, no, yeah, those balls were pretty dirty, man, but we don't think about it at the time. You see, oh, what ball pit?
fact. I
Yay!
almost drowned in it.
Fucking 44
I
years
almost
old.
drowned
If I
in the
saw a
ball
big,
pit.
huge ball pit, I'd jump in it.
I
And
would
I'd be
too.
sitting at home wondering why my fucking
I did.
got herpes.
I would have relations with someone in the balls if they let me to. Like you think after hours, all the
I
Chuck
almost
E. Cheese,
drowned in one.
the Chuck E. Cheese employees were having sex in those balls. You know that,
Oh,
right?
somebody had to have,
Oh, must have been.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
without a doubt.
Alex Wallace says he lives in Turner Falls, Massachusetts, which is out in the western Mass. They have to change the name. They want to change the name to Great Falls because of Tina Turner. I believe it's named after. Or Ike. I think it's named after Ike Turner.
It's,
Turner Falls. And they're very offensive by Ike's action towards Tina.
you know,
Which rightfully so. Ike was an asshole.
but you know what?
Yeah.
Just you know what the whole. It loses its it loses its I don't know, it just loses my appeal to me. Why are you doing that just because everybody's doing it? Why is it bad now? Why wasn't Ike beating shit out of Tina 20 years ago bad?
It was.
It was, but why was it not that? Why wasn't it worth taking his waterfall?
I mean, you've seen the movie.
Yes, I'm just saying. I mean,
What was the name of that movie with Tina Turner's? Like,
I'm just saying it's a right thing to do.
But,
Why
like, a lot
why'd
of
they give it to him in the
people-
fucking first
well,
place?
Like, I mean, that probably predates like the movie. You know, I don't think like a lot of people really knew that he was beating her ass, like, you know what I mean, to the movie.
No,
came
there wasn't
out.
like a main, like everybody knew.
Well,
Oh,
I
I
was
thought
gonna-
that was like a known fact while he was with her that
Well,
he beat her.
I'm just making a joke. It's not named after Ike Turner.
Oh, you got me all worked
It's
up.
named
on that.
after Captain Turner, Alex Wallace says. And Captain Turner, I believe, was a bad guy, probably back 400 or 500 years ago. He probably did something that we probably would disapprove nowadays. But, you know, if you go back into a time machine, I'm sure you... I mean, do you approve of Henry V's orgies he had in France? I mean, two
Nah.
worlds to oneself, right?
Definitely.
I mean, how
Yeah.
about I mean, there's a lot of offensive stuff you get, not like racially involved, but just like stuff that people did back in the day that was very, very. You would look at it right now
Yeah,
and be
I
like,
mean, like
shouldn't
the
have sex
Greeks
with
and
a
the
14-year-old.
Romans.
Yeah,
Like
The Greeks and the Romans, they'd have sex with little boys.
No,
Yeah.
what,
Like that's fucked up.
that's huge.
Yeah,
what's the one where the king has to have sex with your wife before you? What's that? What's that one?
That's no.
Almost like
forget
any
what country
person
it is.
who's
What's
ever
that called?
lived, accomplished anything, like you could probably, if you focus on like them morally, you could find something to depict like a reason why they shouldn't have a statue, or if you really look into it, like probably anybody.
Oh, I agree.
You know,
I mean that's the thing. So like, you really have to now use a fine comb to go through everything to be like, all right, we're at this point where now this is offensive, this is not offensive, this person did this, you know. I mean, in reality, like how many people actually would pass this test? Not a lot, right? I mean, because there's a lot of fucking
No.
fucked up shit that went down back in the day. But the thing was, it was socially acceptable back in the day. So
I just think you can't hold it against the person now. When it's, you know, like they did that whole thing about John Wayne. He was saying something about gay people and something in the Playboy interview. People bring it up, trying to like get him canceled. You know, no one to watch his movies anymore, or you know, try to tarnish his name. And it's like, fucking the 50s, the 60s. Well, I mean,
John
I'm
Wayne,
not saying it's okay, but it's like
John Wayne Bobbitt. Is that what you're talking about? The guy who got his penis
John
cut off by
Wayne, the Duke,
Yeah, John
John
Wayne.
Wayne.
Do you know his name was John Wayne Bobbitt though?
no, not the guy that got his dick cut off. John Wayne, the actor.
No, is that offensive? I mean, is Lorena Bobbitt offensive to any of you guys?
But like,
she cut his dick off.
you know what the funny thing
He
is?
was an asshole, but that doesn't mean he deserved
Hit
it.
it.
True.
Funniest thing though about when they changed Yawkey Way, they changed Yawkey Way to back to Jersey Street, right?
Yep.
Do you know who it was originally named after? The leader of the British slave trade. So like,
Bob Jersey.
no, it's,
Yeah,
it's
I mean,
it's
I
like
don't
that.
know.
See how stupid they're down there all dancing around. Like, yeah, you went from okay, yeah, he was racist, whatever. Yeah, not whatever, but you know what I mean. Just okay, old guy, to sold slaves.
How do you feel about the representative of the 4th District of Boston, I believe, who wants to get rid of the police that are in schools currently in Boston public schools?
The kids don't behave in school. They
I
need a
think-
cop. If the coppers need to be put there in the first place, obviously there's a reason why.
I personally think it's a nice little peace of mind as a parent to know that you have a police officer on duty at a public school just in case shit goes down. But I mean, that's my thought of it. I mean, if I went to
That's
school, have you seen Columbine? You've seen Sandy Hook. You've seen my down in like West Palm Beach, that area, that whole shit that went down. I mean, it's kind of scary that if you don't have, it's nice to know that there's an armed cop. Are we gonna start arming teachers? Like, I don't know. What do you guys think about this?
No, there should be. I remember a long time ago when we were in grade school, if there was a school shooting, it was like, it was on the news. Everyone's like, oh my God, like people were talking about it. Now it's like one happens and it's like, oh, it's like we're immune to it. Like, oh crap, another one happened. Flag at half staff, for a while. And everyone's just kind of over it. And then till the next one, it's like almost no big deal. So yeah, probably having a cop around just because it seems to be happening a little bit more frequently is probably a good idea. Especially maybe in certain locations. I mean, let's face it, there are probably more schools that are prone to that in certain locations than others.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's a good idea.
What do you think, Ryan? You're a parent. You feel better when your kid goes to school and there's someone there protecting them, or would you rather not have a cop there?
Well, I don't know. Like, that's a tough question, man. I believe that I would like to send my kids to a school and stuff and everything where that wasn't necessary.
Yeah.
The best part of the, best possibility, because it's just a tough thing because it's like, I don't think a lot of those things you can really ever see those coming, those school shootings and stuff and everything. I think maybe there'll probably be signs and stuff, maybe at the school, it's important to have resources and stuff like that. But
yeah. And the funny thing is, it's usually at schools that we least suspect it. Columbine was a nice little suburban high school. Sandy Hook was a very rich town in southwestern Connecticut, which you never think any of this shit. You would think this stuff would go down like in the inner city and stuff, but it doesn't. You know what I mean? But does it not?
Well, they have shootings there, and stuff and everything, but they're not mass shootings.
Yeah.
Here, so yeah, it's just
that's true.
But do you think part of that's controlled because there is? I mean, I went to Revere High School. There was a police station in the high school, and this was 20 years ago. This is 2000, 1999.
Person's gonna shoot up a school. They're obviously not gonna choose one with a cop in it.
Well, yeah, and it was just nice to know that, when there was a fight or there was something going on that teachers usually get involved. That they're not qualified to get involved in a fight or any gang related activity or someone who's in the school who's not supposed to be in the school. We had drug dealers pop in who would do deals in the hallways and shit, but You're a geography teacher. You're 55 years old. You're a stone's throw from retirement. Do you really want to get involved with a gangbanger, stopping them from selling crack in the fucking hallways? You know what I mean? Or call the cops.
From my perspective, as a student and stuff and everything, when I was in school, I felt as far as the teachers didn't really do enough about bullying, to intervene and stuff and everything. Sometimes if and I think I can understand why these school shootings happen when you read about Columbine and stuff, everything, these kids getting mercilessly bullied and stuff, everything. And that's something that happened. And you get fed up to a point where it's you actually go and shoot up a school and stuff, everything. I think it should be more intervention. And it has a lot to do with teachers actually not doing their job, and intervening and stopping that.
What pisses me off when these shootings happen though, is it's these parents, I feel they should be held accountable because most of the time, where do they get the gun? They got the gun from their parents, right? Their room or somewhere.
Parents can get charged. Parents can get charged.
The parents aren't charged. I think the parents should be somewhat held accountable for this, for not keeping control of their firearms.
My father had firearms my entire growing up. I have no idea as a kid where they were located. I couldn't tell you. If someone had a gun to my head and told me, find your father's guns, I could give you a rough idea where they were located. I never seen them. I never seen them use them. I knew they were there because I seen them, but I'd never seen where they were hidden, where they were locked up. I couldn't tell you where they were. If I wanted to get one, I couldn't get one. And if I did even find the location, I wouldn't be able to get into the location where they were because they were locked up.
That's a responsible person. And you know what? Yeah.
But here's the thing, though. If you want to commit a crime, anyone, for any matter, any crime, you do it. If you want to do it bad enough, you're going to do it, right?
So they're going to do it. But I'm saying if it is going to happen and they are going to get it from the parent should be responsible. Somewhat responsible.
Someone of these riots, they broke into a gun store and took everything. They ripped the cages off with trucks and everything.
Gun store's right here, guys. And this store is open for business. Ladies only, please. Unless you're an attractive male, then I'll think about it. Because it is 2020 and anything goes.
Switch teams temporarily.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy. The world's crazy. I mean, it's scary to have kids. Eric's kids are 40 years old right now, so I mean, his kids are grown and have families, so he doesn't have to worry about little kids anymore.
Would you see the BU thing?
No, what happened to BU? I seen you post something about BU about fake characters. And
they
want
to. They're thinking about changing the mascot's character's name, like the Rhett or something, because it's named after the guy Gone with the Wind.
Oh, really?
So they it's a reference.
How many people know that?
I didn't know it until that was.
You could graduate unless you graduated BU in 1925 when Gone to the Wind came, or 1930. You probably have no idea.
It's like they have the same name. Oh, okay.
Right, the Boston Terrier.
Do you know how many Josephs are walking around? Do you know how many Christophers are walking around?
Who's the snake? What was his name? The one that told
Jake.
Jake the snake told Eve to eat the apple. I don't think that's correct. I think Jake the snake. Did the snake have a name? I don't know. I don't know the rest of my Bible talk, but
I don't know. I don't think so.
I wouldn't be surprised if Jake the snake.
Maybe it was Jake the snake, and that's where Jake the snake the wrestler got his name.
Oh.
Should I be offended
when
a Hulk Hogan comes into my office and wants a,
big leg drop?
Your friend Priscilla's watching there, Adam, out there in La La Land.
Hey, Priscilla.
And I hope all things are well in the left coast. I know you guys are getting hit again pretty bad because you guys opened up way too early. I think like I said, we should just built a moat around. We can include New Jersey because they seem to be doing all right, and it's very much like North Shore of Boston from New Jersey. I mean, it's like basically Revere 2.0 with just different accents. I mean, if you carve out that area and we just separate ourselves, I think that's cool. I think New Yorkers and Bostonians together could form a bond that could pretty much take over any part of this country as themselves. You know what I mean? I think they're pretty strong personalities. I think the only people that might give us a challenge are the crazy Texans because they're, they're all armed, and we all know that for a fact. You know what I mean? At least the Northerners keep their firearms concealed. The down south, they
don't have to
show them and show. I mean, you don't have to up in Northeast either. You can get a concealed firearm license.
I'm saying they don't have to conceal. They want.
I mean, when I wear a sweatshirt, I'm concealing my firearms, so I want to make sure everyone knows about that. But all right, let's talk about the elephant in the room here. Ryan, who do you follow for football? Precisely, like who's your team?
Oh man,
I didn't even know that elephant was in here.
Patriots fan.
Okay,
I told you, basically, I grew up in Chicago.
Yeah.
But the Bears, like when I was growing up, they weren't very good. So I looked for a team and some everything, and I picked the Patriots.
Okay,
they weren't good either then.
But that's a good point because you must have first seen into the future that that this 199th pick Tom Brady in the 2000 draft was going to actually be something special, and you've seen that, and you what, I'm gonna jump on this team.
It was I was a fan of Drew Bledsoe, Terry Finn. Tony Simmons went to the high school I went to, and stuff, everything. So I was a fan of that roster and stuff, everything at the time and stuff, everything. I thought they really had a chance. I didn't know they would go all the way with Tom Brady and stuff, everything, and Drew Bledsoe would be on the bench.
I mean, late 90s Patriots. I mean, you figure Drew Bledsoe was the number 1 overall pick in 1993. I mean, this guy was the first pick for a team, and this is pretty ballsy for the Patriots because their prior first-round quarterback pick was Tony Easton, who ended up sucking cock, and friggin' Joe, what's his name? Grogan had to take over. He was supposed to be in the backseat row. Grogan had to take over friggin' Tony Easton's friggin' role. And, that's all said and done. So pick a quarterback in the first round again was pretty ballsy by the Patriots. And Drew ended up being he was a serviceable quarterback in terms of football. He's a good quarterback to have.
He cannon. If he had an offensive line, man, they cannon. Nobody could outrun Terry Glenn. He just
and the defense
throw and go get it.
And we got to remember that 01 team that won the Super Bowl for the Patriots. Oh jeez, that was pretty much that team was Parcells' defensive team. He built that defensive team in '96 on. I mean, that was the same defense that went to the Super Bowl in 1997 against the Green Bay Packers for the most part. I mean, I think all the pieces were pretty much there, right? I mean, there's not very many people that weren't on that Super Bowl team that went 4 years later. So, I mean. Yes, so the point I'm making is, how do you feel going a roundabout way about Cameron Newton being the new quarterback for the New England Patriots.
I really was high hoping Stidham would get it. I mean, I'm glad they got Cam. I mean, at least him. He can make a comeback. It would be a great comeback story. That would be the best. Everybody hating on Cam. He brings them the Super Bowl.
Imagine.
Wins the Super Bowl.
I'm getting
he's
wet
back.
just thinking about Cam Newton.
But I mean, it's gonna be
the word
exciting.
is that Stedman. I know I call him Stedman now.
Me too. Yeah.
Facts,
Oprah's
right?
husband.
Stidham is lazy, even though they used to say they were saying before that he's been working his ass off, but now new reports are that he's been lazy. He went to a wedding for like 2 weeks, a 2-week wedding he went to, and like they weren't happy with that because they thought he should have been here training, whatever. Yeah. That's the new report that's come out.
I mean,
but who knows?
It's a reason there wasn't a lot of interest in him, and I think like it has to do with the fact that he's had so many injuries, especially like in his shoulder area. You know, he's pretty much like at the age that like he like where quarterbacks are in their prime. Usually, but like you have to take into account the fact that he has such a run-heavy style. So it's like he's taking more hits and stuff, and everything. And with the shoulder injuries, I just don't think like he'll be able to play like a whole season.
You're talking about Cam, yeah. I was talking about Stidham, but like with Cam, I mean, I don't think so either. But you can't. I mean, the amount of money they signed him for, you got to take that risk. I mean, it's worth it. And if Stidman's not ready, then.
And no one's gonna be able to replace Tom Brady and
you don't want to be the guy after the guy. And here's the thing, Bill Belichick this is what he did in the last 2 years, the last 3 years, just so you guys know, right? He had a 40-plus-year-old quarterback win the Super Bowl. He traded a retired player to a team for a third-round pick, and he drafted a former MVP quarterback and Super Bowl quarterback of 2015 for $1 million. Now I would say that's a pretty good GM role right there. I mean, the fact that he traded a retired player and got Cam Newton for $1 million on the books is pretty fucking impressive.
This is a gamble. I mean, this is a gamble with high no.
There's no downside because if he sucks, you get rid of him and you have
I think it is a sure bet. I think if he's healthy,
there's no reason the Patriots cannot win the AFC East with Cam Newton as their quarterback. There is no reason why they can't.
Listen to this. You got Edelman, and then you got him. He rolls out. Edelman's not open. He's gone. How are you going to cover Edelman? Because if you don't cover Edelman, you can't Cam's going to run.
Well, you're also looking at your receivers too, because now you have to.
Him and Sanu are already working together.
You have to make sure that your receivers. You can't double team a receiver because you need a guy on the quarterback, right?
Yeah.
Tom Brady wasn't going to run for more than 5 yards.
No, everybody knew. Yeah.
But Cam Newton could run for a touchdown at the 50-yard line.
You have to rush more, yeah.
And maybe he does less because he is trying to nurse his shoulder and his ankle. But with that said,
N'Keal Harry will actually get the damn ball.
Stidman can run too.
Yeah, but we don't know. But there's no paper on
I like the game.
Stedman.
I mean, I'm happy for Cam, whatever. But
I don't even know his fucking name anymore at this point.
Stidham.
Is it Stidham? I don't know what the hell it is. Stidham. Whatever. I just wanted the awesome story for him, man. He comes up, takes the reins, and goes to the playoffs.
But you don't want to be the guy after the guy.
No, if he did that, would be. He would just warm the hearts of everybody.
It's just like, think of this, right? This is like this super Playboy model, sexy as fuck, right? She just breaks up with like Brad Pitt, right? Now she's looking for some rebound dick, so he meets you.
Dennis Rodman,
right?
I'm Dennis Rodman.
So
baby.
then you have
king.
sex with her, but you know it's not going to last because you're just some side piece that she's having in the intermittent before she goes to Tom Cruise. You know what I mean? You don't want to be that guy. You want to be Tom Cruise. You don't want to be like the mediocre, like
better line.
You know what I mean?
You know what's funny is the moral, not the moral story, but that story is actually kind of true, but not with the celebrities kind of things. Like every year I get a couple of new friend requests or new messages. Hey, blah blah blah, and then I'm single. And it's like, what am I? My good luck Chuck or some shit. Like it happens every year. Of course I hang out with them and shit and all that crap. I mean, I feel like Thanos. Remember in Endgame when he's like, you couldn't live with your failures. Would that bring you back to me?
So you're telling me a girl has to have sex with you before they get married?
No, I guess because all my exes ended up went on and got married.
Gonorrhea.
Every single one of them went. I mean, well, 2 of them cheated on me to get married, but so hey,
they
all got married. Every last girlfriend I had a serious relationship got married on the next person.
Listen, I've been that guy before. 2008, I met this girl at my friend's 25th birthday party. She lived upstairs with her fiance, and her fiance went to bed early because he had to wake up he was an EMT or something like that. And she was downstairs partying with us drinking, and I banged her behind the couch in my buddy's place. And she said to me, and then the next day she like texted me like on Facebook Messenger saying this never happened, blah blah blah. I'm like, listen, what am I gonna go advertise it? I'm like, listen, I was just there at the right time. Like, it is what it is. You know what I mean? But it happens. So you don't want to be that's Stedman right now. You don't want to be that guy. You don't want to be the guy you just bang real quick after a night at 60 Ks. You want to be.
Well, that's what Cam Newton is. Cam Newton's the quickie.
But that's the good thing. But he's a good hot hit. He's a hot hookup. Like, you want to have a hot hook. You don't want some dumpy girl from friggin' Chelsea.
Cam Newton is the rebound.
I wonder if part of the signing, too, has to do with Belichick seeing that, okay, Tom's being hot and sexy over there. Look how he's practicing. He's doing this. I got to get somebody who's kind of sexy so I can do better because I'm not going to do it with Stedman. So I need, like, somebody a little better than Stedman who can maybe get me better to Tom because I'm an awesome coach. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Eric's right. Stedman's wife is a good-looking broad. Yeah. But he's been too busy taking pictures eating burritos in Tennessee.
So that means Stedman's got to at least be a handsome fella.
You think so? Well, she's just hoping. So imagine.
I'm Stedman's number one fan, man. I'm rooting for him. I hope.
So imagine.
I'm even Googling Stedman. God damn it.
So imagine if Stedman's Stedman's girlfriend just divorces him because she thought he was going to be riding the money bandwagon to a professional.
I thought you were going to be the man.
He ends up being like,
baby, no anymore. Yeah, baby.
Yeah,
come
baby.
This is all in the plan, baby. It's all in the plan. Cam's going to get hurt again. Baby, and I'm going to be in there like I'm going to save this team like Tom Brady did, and we're going to have the same story.
The Canadian football has my name. I'm going to be the next Doug Flutie.
She looks like she's got fame whore. Like, she looks like a Meghan Markle, like in the making. Just looks like she wants fame.
Yeah, that's the type of girl that unless you have that's like guys like us couldn't deal with a broad like that because there's just way too much like shit you gotta like. It's you know what I mean?
Like even this photo, it's like, oh, look at me! Like I have to be in front. Like it's like
these poor guys in the back.
I love how he reads into the picture.
No, but I agree. Like that's a picture. That is a picture that says "Help me."
Blink twice if you need help.
If you could be blinking right now in that picture, we would be like.
He's probably like, baby, I need to have a hot ass girl.
Like she can't even look at him when like he's kissing her. She's got to look at the camera.
Because she thinks she's gonna get famous just because she's dating an NFL quarterback.
Exactly. Yeah.
She has no claim to fame other than she reviews burrito reviews. Like she has like a Yelp account that's like very popular. Like she goes and eats at places. I don't know. Eat my ass. Tell me what that review's like.
It's like Meghan Markle. You're old. You're not going to be a Hollywood actress anymore. Like you're a woman. Your shelf life is a lot shorter than a male. Like
well, Adam, that's not very nice to say about women. Jesus, I mean, this woman that watched the show that could be offended by that.
Oh please, Eric, shut up! Don't even sit there and try to tell me, Adam. Oh my God, look at you. Oh, Adam, please listen to you. You should be the one to talk. Give me a fucking break.
That kind of reminds me of Jay Cutler and Kristen Cavallari though. Like
exactly.
Yeah, and like did you hear the story about like I guess like when they divorced and stuff and everything, and like I guess she was saying like buy me a house.
Yes.
Get a job.
Oh God, yeah, she was horrible. Yeah, he's lazy. He's not like got no motivation. No shit, it's Jay Cutler.
Well, not to the fact
the
that
Bears can tell you that
she has the audacity to say that to a guy who worked his ass off for like 25 years playing football through college and the pros and bouncing around, making millions of dollars a year, while she got famous for having sex with a guy on a show on MTV that wasn't even a real reality show that the producers were like, yeah, do that. And then she hooked up with Jay Cutler because he was just a horny, late 20s guy looking for some cute girls from California. And then they get married. And then because of him, not her, she gets a reality TV show. And then she has the audacity to berate a retired person. That's like if you go to your grandparents' house and you tell your grandparents they're lazy. And they'll be like, fuck, I've been working for 65 years. Well, Jay Cutler worked the equivalent of 65 years playing football for 15 years. So
Orange County is like the most entitled place like ever.
Absolutely.
Like, you know what I mean? And stuff, everything, like talking to women there and stuff, everything.
Yeah.
It's like, it's a different world. Like any place else I've ever been in the country, it's like, it's crazy. Like the level of like elitism, it's insane.
And Jay Cutler doesn't seem like the brightest bulb in the box either. You know what I mean? He just was like, oh, she's pretty. Let's get married. Blah, blah, blah. There was no prenup, I bet. And you only make like
probably more famous than him when they got together.
True, but you only make like $20,000 for doing those shows. You don't make money. You're not making Jay Cutler NFL money.
She had some kind of line, didn't she?
No,
she's getting older.
She owns
some kind of clothing line.
She owns a boutique. She puts a name in. So basically, we could have a clothing line. How about all of us? All four of us get together and we sell like men's underwear. I mean, like at least we
just put Brad Pitt's name on it,
right?
Yeah.
I mean, she's making money, but she's not nearly worth as much as NFL money. I mean, come on. It's like Jay Cutler was a starting quarterback of one of the elite teams in the NFL.
Yeah.
We should start a clothing line. Ryan's last name is Glover. Fits like a glove. Right?
That's right.
Yeah.
It's the tagline right there.
You could be like, even OJ would wear a glove. Maybe we get OJ. He's looking for work. We could probably get him for
Like,
good
oh,
money.
this glove fits.
That's right. So there you go.
Did anybody ever see the videos when he used to host mixtapes and stuff and everything?
Oh.
Yeah, he used to,
Yeah.
like host people's mixtapes is hilarious.
He's a hustler. OJ Simpson is not a guy that turns down an offer. I mean, he was doing Hertz. What was he doing? Like Hertz Enterprise or commercials or something like that back in the day?
That's when he got, yeah, back
I think we're less than a minute already to go here.
Yeah, I think we do. So,
Holy shit.
oh, fuck, we might get shut off. So quickly, we'll stop you, Ryan. What do you want to plug real quick?
Oh, definitely, man. Just check out my articles on the Packy and stuff and everything. I got a cool one about Mia Khalifa and why she hates being reminded that she was part of the adult industry. That's pretty cool.
Sounds terrible. I seen that actually. I read that. That was pretty good. Adam, what are you plugging?
Check out The World Potato on YouTube, and I also am releasing a video on the Packy tomorrow. It's an older video from my channel.
See ya.
Oh, and I guess we're cut off. So, so we lost Ryan and we lost Adam. It's just me and you right now.
All right.
And I think, maybe not. I have no idea. All right, we'll see you guys later. Bye.